I like your choice of food better. I like your choice of food better than
He's our youngest and our oldest. So what? And then there's 4 in between.
Wow.
Do you want a little bit of this?
My commitment to practice all the peace of government, like arrange the meetings and this new people is different. Staying there, and this is the organization offices are in that compound. It's a full coverage of the.
No, it does. It would help if we knew who you
I'm telling you, it's scary.
I looked better last night. I took a nap last night. It's time for piano lessons more than
that will go with Father. You can leave a little message on the quilt. So that's there. And also, I wanted to open this up to anybody who might have had something they wanted to give Father or say to Father. So if there's anyone here this morning who would like to say a little something.
Good morning. I just want to say that Father has been very supportive with the Respect Life Ministry. He's allowed us to do many things in the last, I guess you'd say, in the last 4 years, with Jasmine and then with me, and we did the Fatima celebrations, all 6 of them, starting in May all the way to October, and he allowed us to do the memorial for the unborn, which we're really appreciative of, and all the things he supported us in many ways. He allowed AWA, which I'm the president of the board of, he's allowed us to do baby bottles for our Women's Answer Medical Center, which helps the unborn. And it just has been just a real pro-life advocate. And we're just so proud that he was our pastor. And sorry to see him go, but we know that God has plans for him, right? Always better plans. And we know that he's going to have a big parish, huge parish, I understand. And so, he's going to need our prayers. We have a spiritual, the Respect Life Ministry has a spiritual bouquet for him, which is you sign prayers or whatever you want on Father's behalf, like communions or rosaries or masses said or whatever. The binder's over there on that table. We also have a little insert for you, a little card if you will. And I just want to say, in all the Respect Life Ministry people that are here, I think they would agree with me, that Father has just been great with us. And we're so happy to have had a pro-life pastor. Yep. Thank you, Jesus.
Well, I would say, I'll back over here, that Father is one of the major reasons that Vicki and I are now Roman Catholic. For me, the process actually began when I was a child, spending summers with my aunt and uncle in Orlando and going to St. James Parish there and hearing the Mass in Latin and using religious medals to be like choo-choo trains on the pew. And my cousin, who was more active young man than I was, said, "Watch out for that guy with a basket on a long pole. He'll hit you if you misbehave." But anyhow, so that was my introduction. But Father has really brought us into a more kind of organic community experience of the Roman Church. People ask us our history. I say, Vicki and I were born into German Lutheran families. And they say, and you became Roman Catholic? I say, yeah, Martin Luther would like that. And I explained that to a sister celebrating her 50th anniversary. We were there with the Molinaries and the Smudas at the Catholic Charismatic Renewal Conference a month or so ago. I explained that same thing to a sister who was celebrating her 50th anniversary. I said, yeah, we were German Lutheran, became Roman Catholic. And she said, oh, I said, yeah, Martin Luther would like that. And she said, and the Blessed Mother. So, anyhow, Father has been so welcoming to us. In fact, from the time we moved to Alachua about 12 years ago, we would drop in incognito for Lenten Wednesday night services. Lent and Advent are celebrated very intensely in the Lutheran Church. So we got our Lent and Advent fixes, and I got my Catholic fix by coming. And the Father would notice that I would cross myself, and then he'd introduce himself and say, are you Roman Catholic? I said, we're Anglican. So he went from Lutheran to Anglican. So this completes the process. But Father is very, very welcoming. You can't say no if he asks you to do something. And Vicki and I found that out. And it's that kind of salesmanship that has built this community. So I commented to one of the parishioners here how encouraging Father was, and the parishioner's comment was, yes, he could sell snow to Eskimos.
Who's next?
Well, let's not forget that 10 years ago when Father came, we are a very, very disruptive parish. But Father healed this parish, not only very well, but also just look around on what has happened to us. We're a very vibrant parish, and we're sad, that he's leaving. And we were just joking on the table that Father is working all the projects in this parish like a mother delivering a baby, that up to the end, that the mother is giving birth, that's when he stopped working, and he's not even stopped working. So I want to share a very funny story with you. When the new priest come, we're very eager to be priest. And so I asked one of my friends to give me a good recipe for a goat stew. And so I did everything she asked me to do. And she even put together the spices for me. And I'm a fabulous cook, okay? Those who knows me knows I'm a fabulous cook. So I presented my wonderful goat meat stew to Father. And he's not saying anything. So finally I went to him and I said, did you like the good stew I made you, Father? And he's just a new priest. And he looked at me and he said, did you try it before you gave it to me? That's the end of my Indian cuisine, okay? Thank you, Father, for everything you did to us.
Is there someone else who wants to say anything?
I'm not going to say anything because we all like to talk about ourselves, but I can't help it. I've been praying for my father ever since I was a little girl to come to Jesus. Somewhere along his life, he lost his love for God and the church and everything. And I was praying and praying and praying and praying. And when my sister and I would say, he is going to be a deathbed conversion. Forget it. Let's just get over it. He's going to be a deathbed conversion. And I remember when he was diagnosed with cancer. and they gave him like 6 months to live. And I remember being in the kitchen and talking to him because he was so stubborn. He was such an Italian stubborn man. And I remember looking right at him and saying, I have prayed so many years for your conversion. And I know that before you leave this earth, you are going to come to God because he's going to give that to me because I've been praying for so long. And he just looked at me like, yeah, right. Well, God sent Father Sebastian to bring my dad home because no other priest would have been able to do what Father did because my father was so stubborn. But he did it with gentleness, with love, with mercy. And my father had such a beautiful death, such a beautiful death in peace. He didn't suffer. And I owe that to Father Sebastian because only he could have done it. Thank you so much, Father. God bless you.
Do we have anybody else? All right then, we have a cake over here that we're gonna cut. So we have that next, and enjoy visiting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Stella.
Yes, you have to stand up. You have to stand up.
Enough so you can see.
You still can't see. Stand up.
So, Father, you have been here for 10 years. I was 3 when I first came, and I still remember giving you those tight hugs, and that will be missed.
And I guess on behalf of all the young people, you've been such a great example for us to grow in our faith and instrumental really in, I can speak for myself, you've been so humble, so kind, and the greatest example of that for us it's so important to model that for young people, and it's just been a very powerful example. I know that you guys would agree. And for my brother and my cousin too.
So I wasn't going to say anything because Jasmine put me to tears, but since I've composed myself, I want, it doesn't take much to put me to tears, but she really did it for me. I just want to thank Father for so many years of the special way you handled the children in the CCD program. You've been really a blessing, especially when you gave them confessions here, and I thought that was so gentle the way you did it. I also want to thank you for your support of the gift shop. It's been a rocky road, and you have been there and allowed us to continue this mission, which I hope will continue to grow. But most of all, I just want to say how important you have been in the individual lives of each one of us, supporting us in your prayers, in personal, the way you handle yourself, and going to each other's houses. And especially, you can remember everybody's names. Are just like stunning to me. I can't remember anybody's names. So, but he had this gift. And I think that has to partially to do with the fact that he's a priest, but also because he has a special way of touching everybody's lives. And he will be so sorely missed. I feel sad for the next priest to follow in your footsteps because he's got big shoes to follow, Father. And I just, with the bottom of my heart, I think I speak for everyone that we just can't say enough, and we don't know how we're going to move on, but we'll have to for the sake of God and His church. And you will always have friends here at St. Madeleine, and you will always be welcome back. I hope you consider retiring here next week. And especially, you have wonderful homilies. I've told you this many times, but they really touched us. Right? And so I just thank you for everything you've done for us at St. Madeleine's.
Listening to all these beautiful notes, somebody has to reply. You see, first of all, I want to thank okay. See, every Sunday, I don't get a chance to be here this morning, so today the parish staff, office staff made this arrangement that I don't need to go to Brantford. So that was so I could be here. I miss this Sunday hospitality, 7:30 hospitality. Think about that hospitality. Here, Monica and Monica's mom and dad, inspiring and making this effort, just this is unimaginable. So how, and today also there are so many people brought food, everything. So I want to thank every one of you who sacrificed your energy and time to be kind of gathering this morning. Farewell is always part of being Catholic, in the church community. It happens. So I didn't have much of this kind of farewells. Over 20 years of working in this diocese. This is my second time. So it's always hard. That's all I can say. I am exhausted. I am tired. But you people make it easy. So we each of what I have started sharing is that these simple we don't hear much about these hospitality teams, but they do such a in their own kind of personal choice. They make that choice and they do this so joyfully, making it helping this community to grow. The same with every ministry. We heard from Prospect Life last Sunday. I could not be here, but how much the energy they spent this year, especially promoting our Fatima events and making this parish proud of any parish in this diocese. So thank you for that ministry. Each of those ministries here. The music ministry is God.
Yeah, teaching piano.
It's God is a blessing, just like, and that team who are singing, take each of these ministries here. Our, the gift, how God works a miracle. That's all. God's miracle. We are seeing God's miracle. I didn't do anything, it's just miracles. So here I see Frank. Frank is my, Frank is kind of hoping that Bishop will read this letter. Frank has written a letter to the bishop. So his idea is so if somebody has to go to Jacksonville and somebody has to come here, why don't we send this priest to there? Many of you do not know some of these miracles would not have happened in this community without Frank. And Frank has a way of, when we complete, first of all, this building was designed by one of our parishioners. When I came, this is our own parishioners. When I came, there was an issue whether we can afford to build a $7 million church where they lost already $90,000 to the architect. So is it possible? We have to decide in time whether we can proceed with building $7 million church or just forget about that $90,000 we lost. We don't have money sitting there. Only $100,000 is sitting there after all 3 years of campaign. And with $100,000 can we afford? This was a question we needed, and we had a town hall meeting. People attended. How many of you were there? There was almost like a fist fight, But again, God brought out of chaos, calmness, and this is God's work, So we need to thank God for all the blessings He shared over these years. So what I started telling was, after finishing this building, we completed that the church building. But nobody believed that it can be transformed into a church. Yesterday I was sharing when I was in the deanery meeting, all the priests were laughing at me that you will not become a church, because they knew about the condition. And somehow yesterday there was a Dick Becker here, and his effort, his giftedness is we share. all the other rest of the projects, Dick Becker was involved. So to find the right architect, to find the right construction people. It was his way of spending a lot of time to analyze and find the right people, interviewing people, hiring those people. And then we got the support from our parish. Each time we had leaders, we had beautiful building committee members. See, any building committee members left here now? They're all gone, no? So with the help of this building committee, we built everything, but then Frank comes to me one day that this church is not complete unless we have little light shining. That was a big, expensive project, but Frank gave that support, and that's the only reason we have that beauty enhanced. And then we need to put a new sign. And again, we got the help from Frank. Now, there is more projects are coming. Frank, can we discuss anything about anything right now?
Well, Sebastian, supposing in a few days, maybe a week or 2 or 3, that we came up to St. Joseph's, and we had an audience with His Holiness the Bishop. Is it possible, we say, Bishop Philip Estevez, that you can bring Father Sebastian back to St. Madeline where he belongs, and send the new priest up to St. Joseph's? What's wrong with that?
That'll work.
Thank you, Frank. Okay. So each step, we got support also, especially intervention of God. That's what I would say. Otherwise, nothing would have happened. So we thank God for all these countless blessings we received. In an amazing way, the blessings came. And so we have now the leadership is there. All this ministry leadership, including office staff, they know what we are doing, what they are trying to finish. There are a few more. We have this capital campaign is extended for next 3 more years. So up to 21, we are no problem doing whatever you are doing, okay? So there's a couple more projects. The office staff, Jane became a coordinator along with Ralph to organize that cemetery. People, we had no idea how we can organize cemetery to get the permission from the city. It took 2 years of waiting time, and then to get the permission from the bishop, and then to run it. It is more difficult than running a school, to run a cemetery. So Lori will tell us, Lori can tell us, how difficult it is, Even now we finished the other side, what you call the tribute to but we need again, the markings, where we can bury people.
Yes.
So that is meant for the burial of anybody who served the country. So the other area is Catholic cemetery, but that area we open to anybody who served this nation, irrespective of their religion, caste, belief, as long as they served. So that's that idea. But that idea also came because there was a landscaping problem on the other side of the shrine. So we tried to come up, and a gentleman came up with better ideas, and also resources. So this is what I'm saying. Each step we have blessings, and let's continue with the blessings, and you will be fine. You'll be fine. So as the bishop is sending me there, but you are also sending me out from here. But your prayers are important. But I will. Jane knows that if I die, So once again, thank you all for the ministration. Saint Mary will be blessed.
So let them eat cake.
That to me.